Welcome to the Nancy de Casa, and of course, you are watching. And if you don't know, you're watching the Nancy Reality Talk Show featuring me, Nancy Leroy. So it's been an interesting world, and it's been an interesting week for me in general. Um, it's been interesting in the world of wrestling too. Uh, I think that we should get the topics going, and the topic is, man, what is in the water in New Japan Pro Wrestling right now? Because they're hitting all cylinders. Uh, I watched Resistance. That was a great pay per view. Uh, I watched the Super Juniors. That was a really good pay per view. Um, a really good one half of the tournament. I like every night on commentary. That was really cool. Well, we get to that later. But Collision was really good. We'll get to that a little later. But I want to talk about my week going on. So, um, this weekend, I well, I endured I think Thursday. Went to a marketing class. They helped me in my marketing. I'm good at marketing. I went to Nightmare Factory marketing class seminar. That was pretty cool. Um, and then this weekend we went to the home territory of 1FW, and we got the W in the 6-man tag. So that was a good, interesting week. Um, got drunk with my friends. Well, my friends tricked me in getting drunk and stuff by handing me shots because Alan Angels was there. I really think so. Then they try to blame it on Alan and other people. But anyway, um, the World of Wrestling. I know everybody's talking about Backlash, so let's talk about Backlash. Uh, I saw half of it. I saw the Becky Lynch. Yeah, I didn't get to see the United States Championship match. Actually, my phone was out when that match was going on, so I can't speak on that match. But I will go back and watch it. But pretty much everything on the card was pretty solid. It was pretty okay. It was not the best, but it was cool. I liked the matches. I liked um, Becky Lynch and Arcaria. I like their stuff. I like the Gunter and Paul. No, parts of Paul. Pat McAfee. It's a good psychology celebrity match. Solid stuff. The best way you can work a guy like Pat and stuff. So, um, of course, Gunter playing with his food and his opponent, and it was really good. Pat. See, I think Pat people don't know this. Pat trained with a good trainer in wrestling. And it was Rip Rogers, but that was like years ago. But he he's not. I don't think he's been in the ring as much as he was in NXT. So definitely saw the rust. Definitely saw the rust. Definitely saw he was gassed. I think halfway in the match. So about like I say like 7 minutes in the match, he was huffing and puffing. But I think eh, extra weight. I think they what's the word I'm looking for? Spotlight, spotlight the positives, um, hide the negatives. The old Paul Heyman kind of adage. Um, and then I like that they got Michael Cole into it a lot. I like that they played on that. I like how they was gonna tease the power bomb. I like that they teased the choke out a little bit, like, you know. But all in all, it was a solid match. It was a solid, good match. Can't complain. Um, oh, baby was okay. It was, I'd say it was about a good 6.5, 7. You know, um, a really good John Cena and Randy Orton match. Probably like traditional heel stuff, bump the rap, stuff. Simple. I think all their stories was real simple. Um, I think they learned from Mania is you gotta have a good main eventer match because the card can be good. But if that main event is trash, it's not gonna hit right for that fan base. So um, that was a pretty good, 6.57. Uh, it was solid. So okay, let's get into Collision. All right. So I watched Bad Collision. All the matches was fine. All the matches was really good. Now the thing that I don't really have my co-host here. I don't know if he's in the gas thing, but yeah, I don't have my co-host here. But um, I don't know what Stan Pete would say about it, but I like the match with Ricochet. But I also like the moment of Zach Gallen coming in. I thought that was a really good moment of stealing the leg of Zach Gallen getting hit like that. Um, I also thought that AR Fox is turning up, and I'm glad to see it. I personally think he needs a manager. I personally think he needs a manager, or yeah, I think he needs a manager. I would say cut more promos, but he cut one promo was all right. But I think he needs a manager. A good solid manager, maybe that man. I could definitely talk um for Air Fox. But all in all, it was good. It's a good collision. I really liked it. I like that. What was that? No, the Fox match is really good. The Lucha stuff was really good in there. Um, I forget what else happened there, but all in all, it was really good shit. I really don't have my co-host to go over shit, but it was really good. I watched it and it was really good collision. AEW's been knocking out the park lately, man. I don't care what nobody say, man. They've been swinging on all cylinders, man. They've been these last few months. They've been killing it, man. They really been killing it. I like how everybody has a story. It's a good, meaningful story from AR Fox and Top Flight to Vinny Garcia and FTR. I don't know why I'm be honest so much, but FTR and Daniel to I think Shane Taylor. They still have a. I think they have something with the ops, but they haven't shown it yet. Um, nah, man. I think everything was pretty good. And yeah, everything was pretty good. Best of the Super Juniors. I'm gonna get on and say that the transition of Super Juniors. Nick Wayne showed out. He was more of a baby face in the um the match. I'm glad he got the W. Nick Wayne's been improving on his selling. Like he's been in the way he sells, his body selling, his face selling, his reactions. I feel like liking his growth so far. So has Kevin Knight. I definitely would love to see them in the finals. I think that would be a really good match. Um, but what else? Trying to think now. That triple threat, that was really really solid. It was really solid triple threat. I like how they made. Mercedes said she didn't lose, but I like how the way they had you know her lose the belt, but she's always gonna come back. I thought she was gonna attack like AZA. I thought she was gonna attack one of the Stardom girls, but apparently that's not the case. So, um, yeah, it was a really good match. So I don't know what my co-host is, and I am like, what the fuck is going on? Damn it! So hold on, I'm wondering. So let's talk about. I had to text somebody real quick. Let's talk about what our W championship tournament here. Um, so here at One Fall, not at One Fall, but like at the home territory One Fall, we have a championship tournament. We have Adam Priest, we have Brady Booker, we have all local favors and stuff like that. So whoever wins that championship, I'm going for that championship. And we're gonna win that championship that's always eluded me. So stay tuned for that. I hope they record any of this stuff. But I'm gonna record my stuff. But yeah, so we can have an official. We have a YouTube channel. I don't know if it's gonna be used again, but yeah, look out for that. That's gonna be a good stuff. Um, look out for me in GCW, Arkansas, New South Wrestling. Not New South. What did I say? New South, the Mid South. But GCW in the Mid South area. So you know, uh, it's gonna be a good time. I'm definitely going to work my way into getting back the Juggalos to what they did. Even that's normally how I spend my Saturday night, but it's just to do to me like that, me not getting not only payback, but me not getting a win, battle royal, win a clusterfuck, and then not even. I'm still feel some type of way about that shit, but yeah, JCW versus GCW. I forget the date. Brett Lauderdale said it, but it's gonna happen coming up. So look out for that. What else? I damn it, I can't. Anyway, this is gonna be kind of a quick show because I have no co-host and I like having people in here. But Maybe League Wrestling was tonight. It was a really, from what I've seen clips of, I'm gonna have to watch it back. Um, it looked like it was a good show as always. Um, so On on this show, uh, we have conversations with different people in wrestling, and we talk about wrestling too. But there will be a time that I will be talking about sports, talking about all kinds of stuff, pop culture, different stuff like that. So get ready to tune in because we're doing stuff on a wrestling channel that many people don't do. So we're gonna talk about that, and we're gonna relate to wrestling. We're gonna relate sports to wrestling. We're gonna have different people on. Uh, Tonight, my co-host is just they want he's not coming in. So I'm gonna give you these few minutes to tell you that it's a good week of pressing, and I don't have any others than say that. Other than what I do like. I did like the Good Brothers and the War Dogs match. It was really good. It was really good. Straight tag team action. Um, Gabe Kid's on fire, dog. Like he's authentic, man. He's authentic and he's kicking ass, man. Uh, so that being said, if you haven't seen a New Japan show and you say, you know what, New Japan's going away, all the stars are going away. Well, the stars may be going away, but New Japan is still on fire. Uh, Catch the new Super Juniors tournament. For those who don't want to stay up in 3 o'clock in the morning, you can catch it when you get home. So people always be like, "You watch a lot of wrestling." I just prioritize my time. I watch stuff when I got some free time. So I find out if I come home from work or a gig or if I'm doing whatever, working on some stuff. If I was coming home from just anything or had some free time, I just would watch wrestling. So all right, so I'm gonna give my comments. I don't have a co-host, but I'm gonna give my comments on the Will Ospreay stuff. Um, this isn't my okay. My co-host is on the way. Will Ospreay is a person that he's become polarizing. Uh, Even before AEW, and I think because people are so like whatever he says, they just get up in arms. And now that he's signed to AEW, people, and he's very smart. He knows, if he's trolling, he's a worker, brother. He knows how to work. But I was in a couple lives on TikTok, and someone was like, "Oh, he's lying," about he doesn't like the dirty presentation, he doesn't like the wrestling, he doesn't like the way it's presented, all that shit, right? Now, that was taken out of context, as it always is. So I watched the interview, I found it, and I watched it, and he said, in true context, he says, when I was a little kid, I watched WWE. But as I got older, in my teens, I was and I found other wrestling. I decided that wasn't a product for me. That wasn't a thing for me. And he's like, he says currently, I recently watched WrestleMania. I currently watch the WWE product. It just not for me. And so a lot of people is like, oh, they're mad because they didn't get into they it was their dream. Some person said on live one time recently, like a day or two ago, said, "Oh, it's normal people's dream. 97% of people want to get in WWE, and when they don't want to get in there, they get mad and angry." And I was like, "No, they." Will Ospreay seems like the type of person that he never really was really He never was really. It was never like his dream. It was never really. He never grew up saying, "Hey, I'm gonna be a WWE superstar." He's one of them rare people where he was like, I don't want to go to WWE. And the crazy part is where people don't, they fail to realize. So I'm gonna tell this to everybody that's watching. I see on my screen is 118 people. I appreciate you guys rocking with me. Uh, and you watching this from Twitch and Twitter and all the forms it's on. There could be people that don't like the WWE presentation. That couldn't be like, you can't just like, it's been a monopoly for years, and I get it's the only thing on, but there are people that do not want to go to WWE, and I want to say this: I was, and I still am not the biggest fan, but I will say this: me in recent years has liked the programming from WWE. Has watched the pay views. I just watched Backlash. But I've also realized that this is a job, and I also realized that I gotta give it a shot. I gotta give it a opportunity. I'm not in a comfortable position where I can just get offered contracts like that, like a Will Ospreay. I don't have enough cachet to do that. He being that Real Ospreay had a lot of opportunities, had a lot of offers. Like you gotta think about this. He was offered by Paul Heyman. One of the great minds of wrestling, one of the best managers and the greatest managers out here, right? To evolve, he back then when it was an independent uh affiliation, we just say affiliation, not even a developmental affiliation. Then recently, before he signed his AEW deal, he got offered a WWE contract. And see what Triple H is not telling you, and they're not telling you, is he simply told Triple H, told the people who was offering the contract, he was like, "Just stop." He's like, I don't want to move over to another country. I don't want to move to Orlando. I don't want to move to somewhere like in Connecticut or wherever. Move my family over. When I said I don't want to be in the States. Never really got in the States. He probably has Airbnbs and shit, but like he's just not gonna live in the States. That's just not his bag. And he wanted a certain combinations. I was like, hey, I'm gonna wrestle for you, but I want to wrestle a little bit more, less dates. I don't think that was the case. I think he was going to if if he you know what he wrestles a lot more in AEW, but he's not going over super fast. I think he slows down a little bit for his schedule. Schedule's not going crazy, but he still works. I think he has a good. He's not like a part timer, like a real part timer, but he has his days when he's not on TV. Um, I think Tony Khan gave him what he want. Basically, Tony Khan gave him what he was asking for. Um, what are we talking about? We talking about Spray. So, yeah, Tony Khan got him what he was asking for, and Triple H wanted to lock him down. He wanted to get a great signee. He wanted to say, "I got real spray," and he just didn't want to go. And you see the thing. I don't think uh, drones, fan walkers, WWE fans get that if somebody is not like doesn't want to do something, is not moved by it. Like all WWE has to do is offer you the deal, right? Offer you all they can, right? Whatever money they offer them, whatever deal is, hey, you go to WrestleMania, all this other stuff. Um, you won't work NXT. You'll be on Raw, SmackDown. You go to WrestleMania, that stuff. And he didn't think that was, you know, the best deal for him. He didn't like that deal. Now I'm not gonna fault him for that. And this wasn't him. And he was like, "Yeah, you gotta move to the states. Eventually, we'll make you to go to the states." He obviously has lawyers and he has agents and stuff who look over his stuff, and he was like, "Yeah, this is probably not the best thing," and he made the best thing for his family. So then, going back to my point, Jason, of he essentially just didn't want to go because he wasn't a fan of the product, a fan of the stuff, and I always be trying to tell people like in the past, I never really wanted to go to WWE because I didn't really like it. I didn't really like what they was putting down their practices and all that kinds of stuff, you know, and I haven't. But the difference between me and him is he looked at a W contract. I haven't looked at a W contract. I haven't even stepped foot in a tryout. But I decided that I'm going to give it a shot for myself and to show I can do it. Now, even me getting a job, that's cool. I'm gonna work to that. I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna go out. But at the same time, I'm not begging for the job. If it happens, it happens. If they offer me a job, cool. And as at the end of the day, I find out this is a job. So, as much as I didn't grow up on the on Roll Wrestling Entertainment and watched it a couple times, it's still a job. It's still some place that I could work. Now, when when you're a top international superstar like Will Ospreay, you can do shit like that. And the comment of I can wrestle half people in that dirty locker room. Yeah, they got all the mic skills and stuff and this and that. It's not wrong. Like people said, "Oh, he can't out wrestle Seth." Well, him and Seth will have good, real good stuff. But majority of the people, yeah, if he believes that um, he can wrestle outside of or wrestle um most of the people there, then cool. Every athlete, when wrong, so this is the thing. When Rowan does it, it's yeah, he's bigging himself up. He's talking that talk. When Will Ospreay does it, y'all have a problem with that, and I don't get that. So it's every athlete, every pro wrestler believes that they're the best wrestler in the world. They're the best technical wrestler in the world. They're the best hybrid. They're the best brawlers. Us wrestlers are super competitive, and we like to have confidence. And it's crazy because motherfuckers are hating people because you have confidence in your work. You should have confidence in your work. You should have the most confidence in your work, especially enough training you do, the most um, time that you put in the gym, all that stuff. You should have be confident in you. You bust your ass to be confident. So I saw nothing wrong with his comment. Yeah, it's just I'm one of those rare people that I didn't grow up on Derby. I didn't get uh the machine and get me and stuff. So, but like I said, I'm a different cat. I'm a different individual. I don't know what I would do with the contract if somebody was offering me. I don't know. Depends. I'm not in that situation. So as we go on with that, it has to beg the question: do you have to be why why you can't not be want to be in WWE? That is the question. Why can't you not want that? Why can't you not want to go to somewhere that everybody else's goes? And you know, that's what I want to know. Why can't you have other dreams? Why can't you be like, oh man, it'll be good. Like Burrell's praise like, oh, be made. I would love to go to TNA and stuff. I grew up on TNA. From the area where you grew up on TNA. I don't get it sometimes, man, because it's the double standard. I mean, this the double standard. It's just the way people look at AEW. They look at WWE and it's like tribalism shit don't work, man. Out here in the wrestling world, that shit don't be meaning us, and that's mainly people on the internet that are want to fly their flag for. And I get it. I used to want to fly my flag with Ring of Honor because I was a Ring of Honor guy. I flew my flag when CZW and Ring of Honor had that rivalry. So I get it, but not everybody wants to go WrestleMania and like you got to think that all these people that are getting offered deals, they obviously want them because they want the best of the best until they get tired of them, and then they have them on catering TV, aka I'm sitting in the back. Um, but you know, there is a thing that Will Spray and them are Will Spray, other people, um, just like other, it's like other promotions and stuff like that. So, yeah, man. Uh, the Javon Evans thing that was going crazy. Um, it's a thing where I think Javon needs a social media manager, but at the same time, I also think he can run his own stuff because, brother, you just be getting worked by Ricochet, completely being Ricochet, doing his character stuff, being a dickhead, being an asshole, being all that shit. No shade to Ricochet. So Ricochet's been always. When I seen him first, he was a nice guy. He was a cool guy. Anyway, doing his crazy shit. Everyone say he keep pointing. He's going to keep doing that cake raven. Keep talking to the fans, stuff like that. But anyway, uh, I would have told him, man, calm down. You wilding out for no reason, dog. That's what I would have told Javon. But you can't help everybody. I'm sure some OGs put him to a side and say, hey, you got to take that down. And all, don't be like this. Don't be, don't be.
Where's my phone?
No,
Where's my phone?
right there.
Okay, his number call.
So,
Hmm?
no. Cameo from Papa Nancy. Rare appearance. Um, what was I gonna say? Damn. Oh, yeah, I'm sure some OGs is like and hit him up and be like, "Yo, bro, we gotta take that shit down." We can't be doing shit like that. You know, but I think that's a pair of you know, um, Javon Evans. He's a YN. He's a crash out person. So, as speaking as a crash out myself, yeah, you do stuff in the moment, but crashing out and don't even know you're getting work when you're in the business. They say I do that all the time, but seems like he did it too. But I would talk to him, hey, take that down. Hey, you watch with potion, you getting worked. Um, yeah, just comes off bad. I'm just gonna learn from that mistake. It happens. You're younger and stuff. What else do I want to talk about? Oh, I want to talk about the fireness that's gonna happen with AEW's Lucha Libre Grand Slam. I'm glad they're taking Grand Slam on the road in different pay views and stuff. So that's always cool. That event's gonna be cool. Just all kinds of badass shit that's gonna go down on that card. Um, shit. What else? I think I think this is the time where AEW needs to show that in CML they need to show like, hey, listen, by default we are the number one promotion in Mexico. CMML is. So they need to show the fuck out and show why, they've been around for years and the traditional lucha libre, stuff like that. I definitely need to get my passport. Hurry up before I can't get my passport. um, but yeah, I think it's gonna be fire. Traditional lucha libre is gonna be on there whenever the date pops up. All In's gonna be coming up soon. That's gonna be fire. I'm gonna be out there for that weekend. And yeah, so I don't know what else to talk about. What else? What else? What else? Okay, what else? I'm trying to think if we covered stuff. Um, Basically, all the people in the New Japan Young Lions exclusively. There's some good stuff. I don't know, man. I like the Good Brothers. I like the Good Brothers debut. Like I said, I liked debut. I don't get this preacher gimmick. Um, this kind of preacher gimmick from Luke Gallows, but it's what it is. The ace of New Japan right now, to me, is Gabe Kidd. This shit. So Bill Club has been looking better than ever. It's looking more healthier. Shout out to them. Uh, you know what? The Key Lions. That was a good move to go to Evolve. You gotta get more people there. I think you get people that you're not using on NXT. You have them come down. So I think that's a good move. I gotta watch Evolve. Shout out to my boy Ice Williams. Uh, killing it over there. Shout out to I don't know his name, but I think it's Ramsey. But shout out to him. He's a good baby face. He's a good wrestler. Dana Steele is now my favorite person. One of my favorite people in wrestling. Meeting her and stuff. I love that girl. She was dope interaction. Kind of marked out for me. Kind of like was so excited and shit. But she's hella cool. She's hella cool. I could tell she's from the DMV. I've only like met a couple people. I know she's from the DMV. She cusses a lot, just like me, and she be just talking that shit. She just be talking that shit. She's got a new person, new fan, and me a new supporter. Um, when multiple people, like so, the only time I go out and search people, no, I go see who's on the scene. But if I get told more than I would say more than 3 times, or at least 3 times, if I more than 3 times or at least 3 times, you tell me, oh, this person's dope, I gotta check them out, and then I gotta see it for myself. But yeah, she has a lot of charisma. She has a lot of uh, she's just naturally, I guess, naturally not only like charisma, naturally charismatic, but also naturally funny, naturally witty. Um, yeah, she's all that shit. She's all that. Like, you can understand why they took levels like she's first up because she's got all that shit they want. She's not, so you know what, and her ring skills is not like it's good. It's good. It's good, and it's good for their style. Uh, It's not even subpar. Like girls like her who are really pretty, who have personality, they're normally subpar and they're okay in the ring. But no, Zeta Steele's she's good on the mic, she's good on the ring, like that. So, what else? I'm trying to think. I didn't watch Evolve. I seen clip that Kai Ray came back super kicking. I thought that was pretty good. I really just got to catch up on Evolve, and I think at least Maple Leaf Pro. But this has been a solo show. I'm gonna shut this shit off. I don't see my guy. I'm trying to wait for him. Um, but I will be doing the spaces after it is. Um, so if anybody want to come in, chat, talk, do all that kinds of stuff. I'm gonna say what I was saying on Twitter. Um, this this is a and and I really mean this, but I also was trolling at the same time. But I really mean this. Technically, AEW is the number one wrestling company in the world, right? And I'm gonna break this shit down because they're pro wrestling. They don't never hide it. They like, oh, we the best wrestlers. We have the best wrestlers. This we're the best wrestler. Um, if you want to go be a sports entertainer, the best place is WWE. Movies, acting, all that kinds of stuff. You like the cinema. You like all that shit. You like storytelling, cinema style storytelling, wrestling. That's your place. Also, I'm gonna break this shit down. If people don't know that, I always say AEW is better for the wrestlers and it's better for the wrestling industry. Best, I hate saying industry, but industry and the business of pro wrestling is AEW takes care of the people. Take care of that people. They take care of the enhancements. They take care of the roster members. You don't pay for your car. You don't have to pay for your car. It's automatically. You have a car. You have shit. You have a car service. Somebody already has a. They've got a car for you, so you don't have to rent a car. You and if you don't have a car, you either ride with somebody. Um, and also you have hotel accommodations. So you kind of takes care of that all. It's really like, and then the medical is good. This from a wrestler standpoint, it's really good. Like I tell any wrestlers, if you had a trans between AEW and WWE, WWE's gonna get you the clout and it's gonna get you some money in your pocket. You're gonna make some good money, but you're pretty much gonna be mostly paying to stay in hotels. Like if you're from the territory circuit, you're gonna be, you know, carpooling a lot of the times, because you want to chip in on gas and stuff like that. And I think the only time they pay for your shit is your medical. So what I hear, and it's just like there's nothing wrong with that. I think people think because of their TK now they're gonna pay people extra. It's like no, they're gonna give certain guys certain deals, and then they're gonna give people certain more money. But even if you're making more money, you have to be able to straight shoot. You have to be a tack or Cody Rhodes type or Roman Reigns type to get that super, yeah, or even Drew McIntyre to get them multiple millions in your check bank, and it's just a better thing. That's a better thing for the economy of AEW. This makes the WWE do good, but I do feel that WWE is getting too comfortable. Like, I feel like they're just coasting right now. And I don't know what's gonna get them to fire up, what's gonna get them in the fire in their pants, or light more stories, or I don't know what's gonna happen. But right now they're kind of mid right now, and they should get get better at this shit, man. I want them to win so bad. I want AEW to win so bad. I want Pro Wrestling to be better. I want to have more territories. I don't like shit that's getting acquired and stuff like that. I need more territories. I need more promotion. I need all of it. So that's what I say on that part. Shit. Anyway, if Stampede would say, here, check out the latest starters and matches. I don't know what's the I know the talent. I'm getting to know the talent. But I don't know when stardom is. So check out for your next stardom. New Japan is on fire. Watch out the Super Juniors. What else I would say? Also, if you're watching this in Georgia, uh, and you live in any part of the North Atlanta area, I probably might be back there with One Fall Wrestling. But if you live in the South area, if you live on the South Side, if you live in McDonough, Stockbridge, whatever, come check me out and at One Fall Wrestling when I'm in the McDonough shows. And if I happen to get to other shows in your area, come see me. I'm gonna be having my 8x10s But yeah. So I'm gonna be having my 8x10s. I'm gonna be selling that shit. I'm gonna be at the merch table with my merch, with my pictures. So, we're gonna be selling this one at a one fall. Keep those the PG ones, and then we got the me with the gun pictures at GCW. So if you're at GCW, you got one fall. Catch me at one fall uh, in your local area when the one fall territory comes near you. The best premier promotion in Georgia. I mean, the top territory in Georgia. So I appreciate everybody who comes out to the one fall shows. I appreciate everybody last time coming out. Um, and I also appreciate y'all chatting nasty, nasty. Appreciate y'all supporting me. Oh, new merch coming soon. Uh be on the lookout for that. The limited edition of Leroy shirts are coming out. So the Nasty Outlaw t-shirt, Leroy and Nasty Outlaw Guild t-shirts are coming out, man. So that's what I will say on that. And also, go. Don't wait to the don't wait till fall to get yourself a nasty hottie jacket. Get yourself a nasty hottie for all the nasty hotties out there, or people want all the women that wants to be nasty hotties out there. And binary people, and people all kinds of genders. What else? National team. Satin Jackson, Satin Roberto Jero of Satin Jackets. Like I said before, um, getting, getting, getting. Let's get those. Let's get those. Let's get that merch. Let's wear it out. Let's support that man. Rock with the Nancy Nation. I need all my citizens to be out there and wearing the merch. So, Stampede, you are here.
Leroy, what is up?
We're talking. We're just talking about my dates that I got coming up. We just talking about that, going over that. Uh, I was talking about New Japan. I didn't really. I kind of like waited till you got in here so we can go over detail. I just gave it a short summary of why I liked it and stuff, religion and stuff like that. Talked about the Real Osprey comments, Javon Evans and Ricochet comments. But now that you're here, we can get a deep dive into everything. So, what would you like to start with first?
Oh, a little thing on resurgence, I guess. Real solid show. I mean, not a show of the year or anything like that, but delivered, had a nice flow to it. There wasn't a bad match on the card. I don't think there's any match of the year contenders on the card either.
Yeah.
Um, Bit of an odd Hiroki Goto Zack Sabre Jr. finish. I think I know why they went that route. It just wasn't overly possible, overly the crowd wasn't too fond of it. Put it
Mhm.
that way, right?
Yeah.
But you think of it, right? Like it's in Ontario, California. Zach is very well known over in the states. Hiroki Goto is not, right?
Hmm.
So you don't want to have Zach get pinned straight out, and you don't want to pin Hiroki's not losing the belt either, right? So instead of a DQ finish or a count out or whatever, they went with a double pin. So creative, but it's a very divisive way to end a match too, right? So I had to do a double take on it. I was like, okay, what the fuck? What happened? They did what now? Um, Couple of title changes. One I kind
Yeah.
of seen
Couple
coming.
of time changes.
When I seen United Empire and when I seen who the two were, Templario and TJP, I figured they were taking the titles.
Yeah, I figure so
because they
too.
got that Fantastic Mania coming up, so they'll want someone of that style, right? Yeah, someone of that style that can work that for probably that show. So nothing wrong with that. Like Templario and TJB, they can more than handle the titles. World class Wrecking Crew will be fine. Like, they'll circle back around and get another run with them. Good Brothers looked good, I thought.
They did. They did look good
They did. Yeah.
in the
Um,
Bullet Club, War Dogs.
yeah.
Did
I
they
mean, it was
come?
a fun.
I didn't see it. I didn't like when I was watching. I didn't get to see the entrance of the War Dogs. Did they come out to "It's my dog for real"? It's my dog for real.
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay,
I don't
that's
pay a
good.
lot of attention to entrances and stuff
I
unless
think
they're really really bad or they're really really good.
yeah. I think other than the original, that's one of my favorite Bullet Club theme songs. And I think that because they used to just come out with that it was singles. I think because Gabe Kids got his own custom, he comes out to his shit. But I'm glad they didn't get rid of that shit because whoever made that song, it was really good. It's like an iconic song to me. It's really
One
dope ass song.
one
So
thing that stuck out to me on that though is Gabe Kidd grabbed the mic in the middle of it. And he said, "This is 2025, and two 40-year-old guys, yada yada blah blah blah."
yeah,
Right?
yeah, yeah.
Was
It
he
the
not
line.
aware that? Right, was he not aware that his team consisted of Clark Connors, David Finley, Gabe Kidd, and Gato? Gato's in his 50s, man. Read the room.
He said, this ain't 2013."
Yeah, read the room, Gabe. Like, look around and see who's on your team. Maybe don't cut that promo at that particular time.
You can't
Right,
tell that to a wild
right.
card dog, to a
I'm,
madman.
I'm not telling Gabe that. You can, but just a suggestion, just a little thing. But they went for the two sweet at the end, right? And they said, "Nah, I don't think so. We'll give you the finger instead." I'm highlighting that there may be something come out of that down the road. So just something to keep an eye on. One title that I did thought was going to change hands didn't. Um, Tomohiro Ishii and Drilla Maloney. I thought that belt was going to flip, but it didn't.
Oh, for
Really
sure.
good.
I thought that was going to get. He was going to win it.
Yeah, yeah. But no, I guess they're going with Big Tom for a little while yet. But I just figured they put it on Drilla because I mean Clark got the Defy title, right? And Gabe's going after Yoda Sushi for the global, and I think David probably gets repositioned back towards the world title. But there's a lot going on with that right now because Goto has Shingo Takagi up next, right? I don't think Shingo beats him. But and then you got Takeshita floating around because he got a 1 year contract. Saber, they had a double pin, so I don't think he's out of that picture yet either. So there's a lot circling around there as to where they can go. So that's a very interesting scene to me. Takeshita and ELP, not quite. Well, not quite. It was not up to their G1 match. It wasn't even up to their
Mhm.
match that they did previous for the TV title. Actually, it was still good. Like
Yeah, I'm just calling that.
it delivered. It just didn't hit those heights.
Those spots that I needed to hit.
Hmm.
So,
And then the big one. I predicted this, by the way, that Mercedes was going to drop this title.
yes, you did.
I did.
Uh,
I did.
to
I
to
I
Simon to
I
Simon's
actually.
grin.
I was just going to say I upset our British friend there several times by saying that. No, 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 it's not going to happen. Like, yes, Simon, it is. Right? You gotta read
This
the
is
room.
spoilers.
You gotta read the rooms, right? That these people operate in, right? And they operate in several different rooms. Like Mercedes has had that title now for a year, and she's entering a stage where okay, it's time to start shedding some of them, right? And reposition you in a new direction, but still an upward direction, right? So I think that's where they're going with Mercedes.
Right.
Azumi just fought Starlight Kid, right?
I
For the
fucked her
one,
name up earlier. Damn.
right? For
No, I
the
said
for the
something
for the
else.
world of World of Wonder title, right? She lost, which I expected her to, right? They're not going to have her lose and lose like twice. So they positioned her to lose that one in a battle of people from the same faction, right? Because her like Starlight Kid and Lazumi are they're buds, right? Same faction, and then you repoint her back in the direction of Mercedes. So now you have another belt in that faction, right? So that went almost exactly as I kind of envisioned it. I hope the rest of my envision also happens because I do
What's
not
that?
want Mercedes. I don't want Mercedes winning that whole card, man. That'll be bad. I know a lot of people want that because they got their WWE booking hat on, right? It's the biggest match. We got to do the biggest match. It'll draw the most people. The fucking show's going to sell out anyway, right? Like
Right.
all in will sell out. You know, do the
Yeah.
thing.
So they've been. I
Yeah,
don't
like
look
it's
at
not
tickets. I don't look
like
at
it's not
ticket sales.
like it's not a situation where okay, Elimination Chamber is not selling out. We got to bring in Dwayne. Right? It's not going to be that situation. That show will sell out for what you're looking to do, right? So you book the storylines and the matches that make the most sense, right? And in this instance, what makes most sense is Hater and Tony, right? Because they have a history there. What makes
Right.
sense is Athena and Mercedes because they already started their history, right? Mina wants a shot at Mina wants a part of Mercedes now in AEW, right? So there's something there. Tekla is coming in. She has a hit. Like there's so much to work with there. And for some reason, people don't want any of it. They just want this one big blow off match, and then they're stuck with somebody with two titles. Right? One of them, if it's Mercedes and Tony, one of them is leaving with both titles.
Right.
You know, like then, so now you bottleneck both titles. So one of those titles now is not being defended at Forbidden Door because you can't. You're not going to have someone wrestle twice. You know.
I don't know. I don't know. Stampede. Now I kind of was like on everybody else train about the. Not only I never was. I said, oh, okay, okay. I was like, I was for a little bit with the Mercedes and the Athena all in, but then I got to thinking about it, and I was like, I don't think they had their pay per view yet of Ring of Honor, so I'm
That's the
thinking
day
like,
before. That's the day
yeah, I'm
before,
thinking so.
right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
there's three avenues they can go down for that with Athena, the way things are currently set up. They just started something on Ring of Honor with Thunder Rosa, right? So
right,
you could have her drop it. You could have her drop it at, I think Thunder already has a match at Arena Mexico, not with Athena though, so you can't do it there. But you could stretch that out and you could have that match at Supercard of Honor, right? And you switch the belts over there, you put it on Thunder, and then now Athena doesn't have a title, and that match with Mercedes would be solely for the TBS title. That way you don't have one person with two belts. Athena would still be a little different because it would technically be two different promotions, but it's the same person running them. So I still wouldn't want that. You could also do Billy Starks again, right? But Billy is still aligned with Athena. So I don't know if they want to do that. You could also do Tekla. You could do a rematch from their match in Stardom. So there's three avenues they could legitimately go for Athena. And
oh, well, I'll
just
say this.
while I'm on a little rant here,
Go ahead.
uh, that still leaves the Rev Pro title for Mercedes, right? So that would be if she drops the TBS title to Athena, right? Her last bastion of relevancy as far as titles goes is the Rev Pro one.
Yeah, because you lost the Queen of the
Forbidden Door.
Southside match title, right?
Well, Forbidden Door is coming up, right? That title that she owns is owned by Rev Pro, and there was a lady that just showed up in at the show on Resurgence named Bea Priestley, right? who will be working
Mm-hmm.
with Stardom. Right? Rev
Right.
Pro has worked with Stardom as far as that title goes because they had it on Mina Shirakawa, so they don't have a problem going down that avenue. Right? So you have B Priestley walk through that forbidden door to face Mercedes, and you have Mercedes put over B. Right? There's your new Rev Pro champion. Although B wants a piece of Azumi too, but she's not taking the title off her. I don't see that.
Right.
So now you have no titles on Mercedes. You have brand new champion, which I would book to be Hayter, right? Who will have beaten Mercedes in the Owen, right? You give Hayter a run with it, right? And if Hayter beat her, either by hook or by crook, Mercedes is probably going to want a rematch at some point, right? So now your rematch is for the title down the line, end of 2025, early 2026, Revolution maybe. Right? That's the way to do it. People don't want this
Right.
though. They want Mercedes and Tony.
They want Mercedes and Tony.
Mercedes and Tony, damn the
You gotta
damn
have the biggest
the yeah. But you got to
people.
think of what's okay if you do that. What's going to happen afterwards, right? Where's it going? You just devalued Hater because she just
Mm-hmm.
lost to Owen. So what the hell are you doing with her, right? You brought Athena to the AEW roster to do nothing with her, right? So you devalued her again. She's perpetually in Ring of Honor. It would do a lot more damage than people think. But
Yeah, because you gotta utilize people to their true potential. And this
yeah.
is going to my point. I'm gonna make. You have to have. So I think I think you have to have this thing. You have to have people looking strong and looking solid in their TV appearances. Whether it's Collision, Dynamite, you just gotta have them looking 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 good, even in defeat and stuff like that.
and
And
we didn't even
you
we didn't even bring up Megan Bain. Like they're booking her extremely strong, and they're keeping her in that Tony Storm sphere too, right?
right.
So you could have, even if you go the other way in that scenario, and you have Tony win, and you have Tony beat Hater, right? Then you could circle back to Tony and Megan Bain, and then you get the belt on Bain. But that kind of there's a lot of ways they can go, but putting the title on one person, both titles on one person is not a good one. I hate to bring him up because he's not here, but Simon would be happy as a pig in shit because all roads will lead to Mercedes. TBS title story is going to lead through Mercedes. The world title is going to lead
Mhm.
through Mercedes. Everything will lead through her, right? Great if you like her and you're staying or whatever, right? You'll be happy. If you're not, right, you're going to zone out and you're going to lose interest in what they're doing. So it's an all or nothing kind of scenario, right?
Right.
Like I'll lose interest. I'll tell you right now. No, I will. Like I don't like and people bring up Omega. Well, Omega had all these titles, and he did. But he had the AEW World Title. He had the AAA Mega Championship, which is another promotion. He had the Impact title, which is a different promotion. I think he had the IWGP US title too at the time, didn't he? Even and if he did, that's another
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
right. But he held a lot of titles, but not more than one in any promotion. So
Now he wasn't just a.
it's a completely different setup, right?
Hold on a second.
That would be like him holding the world, the international, the continental, and the TNT title. Well, I hope you like Kenny Omega because all roads will lead through him. Just as an example.
The thing
Congratulations
on.
to Josh Alexander, your new MLP champion, and also congratulations to Giselle Shaw, your women's champion for MLP, and Indy Hartwell, your HOG champion. women's champion, obviously. Cedric Alexander looked good.
He was on he was on Maple Leaf.
No, he was on the House of Glory show. He wrestled Mike Santana.
Oh, how's it go? Okay, I didn't know that. Oh, no.
Yeah, for the heavyweight title, it was the main event. He looked good.
He wrestled. He wrestles. No, he doesn't have the heavyweight title, does he? Does he have the heavyweight championship? I think he probably does.
What, Mike Santana? Yeah, he's had the
No,
longest reign.
no. My Mike Santana. My bad. I'm thinking it was the other. Zilla has another other belt. I just can't think of the name of the belt.
Yeah, Zillow wrestled Matt Riddle.
Okay, that seemed like it was a good match. I gotta watch that shit back.
Matt's a mess, man. Zilla has the crown jewel title. Is the name of his.
The crown jewel.
He
That's
wrestled
what it was.
to a 12-minute and 31-second DQ match. And
So how
he beat Mayu
how did he
Yamashita
look?
for the bait. Who, Zilla or Matt?
How did Zilla and how did both of them look basically, but mainly Zilla?
Zilla looked good. Matt is Matt at this stage of the journey. He pretty much, yeah, he Matt is what he is, and he's but the two matches of the night were probably the Indy Yamashita match and Mike Santana, Cedric Alexander. Quick, easy watch, like good, nice little show. If anybody's looking to expand their wrestling repertoire.
So okay, Cedric wrestled
Mike
who?
Santana. Mike Santana.
Okay. The world champ. The champ. Okay.
Yeah. Well, heavyweight champion. It's not.
That's right. They don't have a world. My bad. They have a heavyweight championship.
Yeah, where world title gets tossed around far too much.
Yeah.
There's not many titles that I classify as actual world titles. The IWGP, I do.
They might call it the world, but I call it the heavyweight. The only ones that I really recognize.
I recognize three.
Huh?
I recognize three.
Okay, who are your three? And I'll tell you mine.
Well, Hiroki Goto has one. John Moxley has one, and John Cena has one. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. The TNA's at one time, yes, but they've devalued that promotion and the title. Like, it's the TNA title, right? But I don't put it in the same category. And just because WWE decides they want two of them doesn't mean that I'm going to be jumping on board with that. So whatever Jey Uso is carting around, it's a secondary title. Right? It is what it is. Nothing wrong with it, right? Just, don't try to classify it as something that it is not.
Now, do you consider the NWA World Championship to still be a major world title?
No, NWA hasn't been a major promotion in a long time, man. They've fallen considerably off. At one time, years and years and years ago, yeah, but
okay.
For the women, for the women's a little different. Like the IWGP one, I consider that to be a world one. Say Kamatani's one, definitely. Right? Tony Storm and Io Sky.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna tell you mine. The titles I consider to be world titles. The MOW World Championship.
Oh, I'm gonna include Utami in that too. Hayashita.
Okay.
No.
Stardom.
Marigold.
Okay. Marigold World Title. All right.
I'll have to draw you up a roadmap of where everybody is, Leroy.
To make me so. I'm not gonna lie. I do like. I watched the Stardom show. I watched Marigold. I've been watching Marigold lately. Some of the old shows. Of course, I watched that Sendai Girl show with Mega Satomura.
Marigold has promise. They got a small roster, but it's talented. right? So
Yeah,
they'll build. They're only in operation for a year. I mean, it takes time.
yeah. I like Tokyo Joshi Pro. I've seen a lot of their stuff. I saw them in person, so they're good.
They're always enjoyable shows, always.
Yeah.
And the pay-per-views always deliver. Like if they ever got a pay-per-view on, make sure you watch it because they always deliver the goods.
Who was the girl? I think I forget her Twitter name or whatever. But it's just what's her name? Lexi. I forget what her name is, but she's an Australian chick that I saw at Mania weekend. Well, aka which some people know as Mania. It was the collective weekend for me because I wasn't at Mania thing, and I was Mania by association, I guess, but really GCW collective weekend, the big wrestling weekend. So, but I forget her name and her name, but she's Australian, tall Australian chick. She was at the Sendai Girls, and I seen her before at Russell Pro. Like I seen her in person, and I seen her in in the ring, and she's pretty good. So I would say you should watch out for her. I forget her name, but I'll send it to you after the live. Um, I don't think who else. No, that whole card was good. I like the Aja Kong match. Now, I will say I was going to say earlier is the titles that I recognize is MOW because it's still I think it's still recognized by PWI. The Pan African World Championship recognized by PWI. I count that as a world title. The IWTV World Championship. The WWE World Championship. What else? What else do I consider as a world title? I still like. I know it's that been a brand new, but I don't know. I still consider the NWA being a championship, but just on a lesser stage now. I guess now the GCW is absolutely a world championship. Um, that is definitely a world championship. That shit has been defended in Japan, Germany. What else? What another title? The title that Manders has, the WXW World Championship. I consider that the World Championship. That's defended in the States and Germany and England and Japan. So I'm trying to think who else. I think that's all those one. MLW,
I have an
NWA.
interesting little I have an interesting little tweet for you.
Okay.
So 9 hours ago, Mercedes Monet tweeted out, "I hate how light my suitcase feels," and then three little crying face hashtag resurgence.
Mm,
6 minutes ago, someone decided to respond to her. Guess who?
Simon,
No, someone a little higher up on the wrestling hierarchy.
Mercedes. Okay. Spider Mercedes. See,
So we're
Athena.
Mercedes Athena. Yes, yes, yes. So she responded, ha 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 ha. Want to make it lighter? Question mark, question mark, question
Mm,
mark. Telling you. I've been telling everybody for like weeks. It ain't done. I'm gonna make it extremely difficult for everybody to hop back on that Athena Mercedes train. You know that,
mm,
right?
I know that. I've known you enough time to know.
Like you were all fucking happy to jump off it with both feet, right? It's not gonna be that easy to jump back on. I'm gonna make it extremely uncomfortable for you. But anyway, you be handing out world titles like fucking Halloween candy, Leroy.
I gotta like I don't know. Maybe it's just me because I just like the NWA World Championship,
I'm just a
but I
little
kind of
more.
feel
I'm just a little more like if you want that distinction, then have the promotion in which you work for earn that distinction. You know. But I'm like that with matches and wrestlers too. If you want
Yeah. I know
If
you're
you want a
very.
good rating or a good review, then earn it. I'm not going to give. I'm not just
And
going to give.
you're about to earn, and I give stuff away. That's what my friends say. You like, oh, you be overrating people. Oh, you be giving stuff, handing stuff away. But he's more when he says it, he's more bitter. He was gonna come on here, but he's doing stuff for he's cooking for like he's pre cooking for Mother's Day. So I was too. So but I did that
Oh,
shit earlier.
speaking of cooking, I haven't seen the MLP show yet, but I did see the Backlash one. So I want to just a quick review. Um, Opening match: the Jacob Fatu, LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest.
You said
It was it was
you
it
said
was
the MLP.
no Backlash.
Oh, okay, okay, say.
Uh, yeah, that match it was really good for the first probably 3 quarters of it. It was really cooking, and then of course WWE with their they love their interference, right? So at about 3/4 mark, out comes Mr. Jeff Cobb. He's aligned with Solo Sikoa, it seems. I don't know how they're gonna.
Most WWE fans are like, "Who is that?"
I was in a space while that was going on, and I tried, man. I tried my hardest to explain who Jeff
Oh my
Cobb
god,
is.
did they say that?
They
Oh man,
they just would not. One of two, both actually. They wouldn't shut up and they wouldn't listen. So I left. Okay, you guys figure it out on your own then, right? But
you got
he's
the
not
speaker and
Samoan.
you trying to tell
Yeah,
him.
but he's not Samoan. So I hope they don't
What do they
go down
call him?
the argument.
Samoan?
No, he's not. Like he's Hawaiian, right? He's
No, I know that, but did they call him
no,
Samoan?
no, no. They didn't call him anything. I just hope they don't, you know, try to do that. Just present him as he is, right? He's a big tough guy. He's the big tough heavy, right? That can go and move. So
Mm-hmm.
do that. Just do that, right? I don't believe they mentioned him by name though. So I
Mm.
don't know. Right. So I don't know if they're going to stick with Jeff Cobb or are they going to put a new moniker on him. That I don't know.
They gonna change his name.
That I don't know. But all in all,
Yeah.
like I said, the first 3 quarters was a really good match. It got kind of marred by the interference at the end of it, so they kind of dropped my rating on a bit. Drew McIntyre took a fall. Well, him and Damien did a spot. Um, Drew's head missed the table and whacked off the floor, so he's being checked. Possible concussion. We don't know yet. Dom and Penta, uh, good match. Both of them delivered. Interference, of course. Right. Gable came out in his fucking
I
mask
didn't
and
even
they
see this
did
interference.
something
I watched the clip back and shit.
with Gable. He did something with Penta on the turnbuckle, and which led to the pin. Dom did the prop splash. So that'll probably set up something between Penta and Gable at, I would imagine, that Worlds Collide event and like a mass versus mass match or
For
something.
sure. For sure.
I would say, but that back to back though, like interference that in the matches, right? I'm going to skip over a match. Um, Gunther and Pat. There was a tiny little bit of stuff from Michael Cole, but not enough to change any trajectory on the match. Very entertaining match. It served its purpose, right? So no
I
harm,
watched it.
no
It was a
no
good.
harm, no
It
foul
was
on
a
that
good
one. Yeah, like Gunther looked
celebrity
like an
style
absolute
match.
beast. Yeah, like Gunther looked like an absolute beast. Got Pat got some licks in. He took a lot of licks. The guy can take a beat, and I'll give him that. But Gunther went over, which was the right call. So he'll move on to probably
I
who's
said
next.
earlier, but before you came in here, he by like the 7 minute mark, he was like gas. I could tell it.
Oh
He
yeah, he
was
was. Yeah,
he was big
absolutely.
gas.
Yeah, and
I
I
was like, yeah,
expected
you
it.
ain't been in the ring as much as you used to be, man.
Yeah, no, and I expected that. No, I wasn't expecting
You
a
used to be in the
30 minute
ring
there,
a couple times.
but it was good. Like I said, I gave it a 7 out of 10. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It was just it did exactly what it intended to do. So good job on that.
Yeah.
Match of the night by far was Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch. Telling you, man, Lyra
It wasn't
Valkyria.
John Cena and Randy Orton.
I'm getting to that. But Lyra, man, like if you watch her and you know what you're watching for, like she's a joy to watch. Just a joy to watch her. It's like she's so good at such a young age. Like they should look at, do not let her, if WWE is smart, do not let her get away. Keep her, right? Because she's going to be a star in that company for years to come if they book her right.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The only thing I would suggest is whatever it was they stuck on her arms, those big fucking wing feathery things, get rid of them, send them back to wherever it is you bought them. Because when I looked at it, the first thing I thought of is like, oh look, it's the Vulture from the Spider-Man comics I used to read when I was a kid. Isn't that sweet? So lose those. Other than that, I had no complaints with the match whatsoever. It was extremely well done. On the other end of the spectrum would be the John Cena Randy Orton match. This was overbooked to near death proportions. It went almost a half hour. They had ref bumps. They had like multiple people coming in. They had Pierce taking an RKO. They had R-Truth taking an RKO. They had Cena hitting people with belt. Like it was just one after another after another after another.
It.
Just
I will say this: it was good for what I knew it was going to be good for. I knew that shit was going to be overbooked, but to the
well, I gave it a
level of
well, I gave it a 5 out of 10, right? And that's up 2 points from his last match.
that's good.
Like it's
That's a
going to take
better
him an
ranking.
awfully long. Well, it's going
I
to take
gave it the
him.
same thing.
It's going to give him. It's going to take John an awfully long fucking time at this trajectory and this pace to get to a match that is passable. This is two now that aren't. So I don't think this heel turn is going to last very long either.
That's not.
No.
It's not.
So I don't.
I think your turn. I matter of fact, I think your turn sooner than later. I think your turn at SummerSlam. I really think. I really think is.
It
I
can't
can't.
last on
No.
anybody. He's done in December, right? But I don't know. It just it looks and feels very thrown together, right? That's just my take on it. But essentially, it is because John wasn't even like it was Cody. They wanted to turn, and he said, "No, I'm not doing that." So they offered it to John. And he said, "Okay, I'll do it." Right. So it is thrown together in a sense, right? But it looks and feels that way too, which is the problem.
Yeah. I don't know what they're doing. So my friend he was going. If he was here, he would say like they wanted the. He wanted to see a double turn from John Cena and Cody and shit. But I don't think they're going in that direction.
No, I don't think. So.
Yeah, I don't think they're even heading to that direction.
Um, they announced quite a few. They announced a few shows. Um, one is just like beyond funny. Like they announced the Saudi show, right? And guess who's on the advert for it?
Uh, Goldberg.
No, no, no. Who
Mhm.
who who said he would never, ever, ever do a Saudi show? Ever. Even sent out a
Oh,
tweet to Miz about 4 years ago to go suck something. CM Punk
oh,
was
CM Punk.
on
I was going to say
was on
Sami
the
Zayn.
advert. That was on the advert for the Saudi show. Like he's a walking, talking, breathing hypocrite. If he shows up on that show, and he probably will. But they also ran through a few other upcoming major cards, and conspicuous by his absence on every one of them was AJ Styles. His contract is coming up like extremely soon. Might even be the end of this month because they added a little bit of injury time onto it to get him through Mania. But I
Mhm.
and there's no word on him signing yet. If he signed, that were they would have gotten that word out. So I don't think he signed, and I don't think he's staying.
I don't think so either. I think he was like, I think it was the thing like he just didn't want to leave, but it's like,
He
bro, they
likes
don't
it.
got nothing for you.
Well, he likes
Yeah.
it there. Like I'm not disputing that. Right?
Hmm.
That's everybody knows that, right? But everybody also knows that he's wrestling for 2 more years, and that's it. Right? He said that. So how much are you going to pay me? And what do you have for me to do over these 2 years? Right? Am I going to collect fucking dust like my friends Doc and Carl, or are you going to do something with me? Right? I know what WWE's answer is, but like given the landscape there, and I know what the gentleman down in Jacksonville's answer would be, and they're completely different answers. So I'm leaning towards him taking a little excursion for a couple of years, and then probably coming back to to do coaching or something to that.
Something like that. Uh,
Well, just the
I
money
gotta,
alone,
I
like
gotta ask you, I gotta ask you this. So I'm gonna ask you two things. I'm gonna clip one of them so everybody can hear it. So there was a tweet by the Shimmer Women's account. I'm, I'm sure you're familiar with Shimmer, right?
Mhm. I did see that because that Nick CXS uh, commented on it, and I commented on hers, and then she commented back. It also had to do with Laney Luck. They said sign. I think Nixie said sign this woman. I said sign both of you. Right. Uh, yeah, I would like to see Shimmer back. Uh,
Now the question is, don't know the question. The thing that I'm gonna ask you is, what this new generation of Shimmer? You want Lady Luck? You want what's Nikki?
yeah, she would be another one. Um, they would have to, in order to get this like working and cooking though, they would have to work with other places.
Oh, for sure.
Like they would have to, like they'd have to get a hold of Scott, like up here in Canada. you
Yeah, definitely.
know, Giselle and Kylie and like they get Mayu on their shows and okay, let's get something cooking here. They'd have to get a hold of Tony. It's like, okay, listen, you got a really good women's roster. You can't use all of them in the 4 hours of TV that you have, and you can't, right? So let you and I get something cooking. If Tony agreed to that, well, then that could open up the door to a little bit of CMLL, a little bit of Stardom, get, but if they could do something like that, like get a nice little network going, and plus your independence, I think that would work, right? But
I
just try to
have.
go if they just try to go it alone, like completely on their own, like they
Yeah, it
would be
wouldn't. It was not gonna work.
it would be a very steep uphill battle to get that going. Because well, look at Scott, right? Look what he's doing up here in Canada with MLP. Scott
Yeah,
has money, like Scott has money behind him, right? Like he's not a poor man. But even him, if you look at his shows, like he now has Josh Alexander as his top title holder, right? So that's a direct working relationship with AEW. Giselle Shaw, that I think that was pretty much a given. But they had, the Good Brothers from New Japan. They had David Finlay on there. They had Gabe Kidd on there tonight. They had Mayu Mast on there, Tokyo Joshi Pro. QT Marshall was on there. Um, various other independents. So like he gets it, right? If this is going to work, I need these things happening, right, on a semi-regular basis. So if Shimmer could figure out something like that, then yeah, I think they'd make the move.
now I so into the thing what I'm going to say to continue this. Stampede being that you've watched some Shimmer and you know the OGs of the Shimmer, now I want to ask you this. There's some people, also some new people, I'm gonna say too. So, being that you're from coming from a wrestling land, a wrestling origin, where you guys just you play sports, but mostly you breed this phenomenal wrestlers up there, like Samoans breed phenomenal wrestlers in the pro wrestling world. Now, the reason why I say this is because who do you think is going to be there next? So, before I say who do you think, I'll say back then you had all the Canadian talent, the top Canadian talent, and the top Canadian talent was Nicole Matthews and the Canadian Ninja and her own Portia Perez, and they dominated the scene up there. I mean, up in Shimmer. Those are the Canadians that killed it up there. Uh, I'm thinking, did they have even one more Canada? They had Steve Carino's sister, because apparently she's Canadian. I'm not too sure. Um, but that's about it. Uh, so this is the thing I want to ask you: the Shimmer OGs with the new people. I'm gonna give my answer later, but I want to hear your answer first. Um, the Shimmer OGs and the new people who you see is the next people that gonna be their top stars in Shimmer.
Well, it's a little premature. It would depend on how they try to structure the roster. Like, are they going to have a set roster? Are they going to do more of a floating format? Like a paper appearance, like to get things on the go, which might be a better way to go. You know, um, Less continuous overhead. If you do it that way.
Yeah,
Um, but I'm just looking at just when you mentioned the women there. I was looking like there's lots of them around. I remember watching that women's Revolution Gauntlet match. Right, there's a lot of good talent in there. Like Danny Luna. I'll just run down the names: Amira Blair, Anita Vaughn, Charlie Evans, Emerson Jane, L.A. Taylor, Lizzie Evo, Mercedes Blaze, Sapphire Reed, Serena Deeb was on there, Sky Smithson, right? There's lots of women talent around to do this. It's just a matter of, reaching out to them and creating that network, I think, of getting them on board. It's like, you would have a, specific women's promotion to come and wrestle in, and do it that the women would be on board for it. You know. But to start it off, you're going to need names that people know,
yeah,
right? You got to get people in the door somehow, right? If you throw a bunch of people's names on there that nobody knows, it's going to be harder to draw, right? And once you get them in the door, and these people get in the ring and they start performing, it's like, okay, well, now the people that you didn't know, now you know, right? So when you see that
right.
name on the card, right, when you see that name on the card the next time, it's like, oh man, Sky Smithson's on. I seen her on the show last time. She's really good, right? So that's how you build it. I would imagine. I've never run a promotion, but that's kind of how I would go about it.
That's how you would do it.
Yeah, get a few established names like Mayuri Master. She'll wrestle anywhere, right? That's outside of certain circles. That's a name that's very well known, right? Serena Deeb will do that, right? She's wrestled MLP, she's wrestled Rev Pro, Ring of Honor, AEW, all over the place, right? People would know that name. WWE, she's wrestled there. You know, there was a bunch of names just released. Jakara Jackson,
She
perfect
would
little
be good
spot for
there.
her. Right.
Yeah.
Get her right. She may not be able to use the name, but you know, use a real name formerly known as. Just put it in parentheses, right? Just do it that way. Our girl Cora, right? Another one.
Mhm.
People would know who that is. You know, um, Shotzi, right? Everybody knows who Shotzi is. You can't miss her.
Hmm.
So there's another one, right? So there's more than enough women there to do it, and there's more than enough that have name recognition to do
Right. Get a Queen Aminata. Get a Willow Nightingale. Get
it.
a
Yeah, yeah. Like Willow wrestles around quite a few places. Diana has. There's another one. Like Diana
yeah,
will
get
wrestle
Dina
around.
Perazzo. Tayo Valkyrie. Yeah.
Yeah, Tyra's wrestled all over the place. Like Billy Starks, like she's 20 years old, man. She's wrestled in over 100 promotions.
Crazy, right?
Right. So there's ways to do it, and and there's ways to get and some of these talent that we mentioned, like they are under contract to AEW, but Tony, as long as the promotions, as long as they're an upstanding promotion, he doesn't generally seem to have a problem with the talent working there, as long as it doesn't interfere with plans that he has on the go. So, which is understandable. You look after who's paying you first, right? And then if there's free time, you can go do other things.
I think the most one person that I think that would come should come back this one time if they're bringing back Shimmer is okay. Nicole Matthews is still wrestling, but I feel like our tag team partner should just do like an appearance or at least a promo. Portia Perez and stuff, and like do their old promo together. And I feel like this is so. 'Cause the crazy part is I just started connecting like far as like promotion and booking wise. Not only just as a wrestler, it's just like these last 2 years I just been getting it. It just been clicking. So check this out. I'm not telling them how to book. I'm not telling Dave Prater how to book. But if I was really gonna have Shimmer back, you gotta have the Canadian Ninjas back. Whatever they have to do to get Pro Wrestler out of retirement. And how would I use? I think if you so the established talent is the Canadian Ninjas, right? You put it in the famous building that it was in that they did their last show, and you have it in Chicago, Bergen Eagle Club, the infamous Bergen Eagle Club, one of the top legendary venues in independent territory wrestling. So um you have some. This is just me. Maybe no, wait, no. I'm gonna use somebody that I know and somebody that maybe like we'll use somebody like that's been on a whole bunch of stuff. So we'll use like I would say like I could see and Helica Riss, who's been on multiple AEW appearances and stuff. She's a fiery one. You use I'm trying to think who else like um who's another I could use and not and Helica and what's damn hold on why am I forget why am I blanking hold on Hyena Hair you have them attack the Canadian Ninjas have them get the heat then probably like have the general manager come out or you could have somebody like another wrestler come out uh and I think you know what yeah get three because I'm all on three so you have three so I would say for any third member, I would say any third member, you gotta get a veteran in there. That I think that's nice. So I just have Shaza McKenzie, and then Helical Risk, Hyena, have them jump in the Canadian Ninjas, and then have somebody particular wrestler coming out. Who have they haven't seen it? Somebody like a Sarita Deeb or something like that, or maybe even a Sky Blue. So I think you do that. You make people stars like that. Those little because that's what other than the matches, that's what made Shimmer stand out because they would have these segments, which not all of those segments would be like that. For the most part, like they would do promo segments, and you know, I'm sure you've seen enough Shimmer to know they've done. It's not WWE segments of like taking like 15, 20 minutes to do a damn promo, but like a quick little 10 little 12 10-minute segment or whatever, right? So they do stuff like that. They have good talent like Nikki that's doing promos and stuff. I've seen some more of her stuff when because you know what? Because I really didn't look her up, even that I seen her at a show. Every now I on was on a car with her, but you told me about her to watch her. I've been watching her stuff, and she's really good here. So you know what? I would have her interact with baby faces too. Um, I think Brooke Havoc is I always put her over. She's a good baby face too, as far as the up and coming people. And then like the OGs of Shimmer, I think if this is the hard part because most of the people that I want to be on that card are either gone from wrestling or they're like they're mostly gone. Like I think all the OGs other than like we named like your Dina Perrazzo's and your Serena Deebs and stuff, they're around, so you can get them. I'm trying to get like some of the OGs. I think you know what? I don't think Madison Eagles is retired. I think she wrestles still. Yeah, you can get Madison Eagles. You can get Kelly and Kelly Ann. You can get Kelly Slater out of retirement. I'm sure. I'm sure she like once in a while does stuff, but if not, you can get Kelly Ann. I don't think who else. Um, Indy's course is going to be Indy's established star, so you can have Indy Hartwell. Who else? I'm trying to think down. Who's it? Who's like Via Van? You get Via Van. She's becoming a star too. So she's a name. Trying to think who you know, and I know you know Sam P because I know you watch Old School Ring of Honor. The one person I think that would really get a major pop and like a good segment. I don't think she wrestles no more, but Daisy Hayes. I ain't seen her in at least like shit, like 15, 20 years. I get a big ass pop. I think if Triple H was nice about this shit and he just let her go to Shimmer for like the debut, I could see me and Yim coming out there and like doing a segment.
You would want WWE to get their hands on Shimmer.
No, 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 no. I just want them to be like, hey, you can go to Shimmer one time.
Yeah, but
But I know it's not
you're
like that's
you're
not gonna
you're,
happen.
you're opening up um,
Can of
you're opening
worms.
up you're opening up a very potentially hazardous door.
Yeah, I don't want that to happen.
You know,
Cause
potentially,
I,
potentially,
yeah,
but but Paul and the gang there.
I
If
don't
they're
want that.
helping, right? If they're doing something for you, it's not for you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't want that. I don't want that.
Yeah. So I
I
would be
talked to
careful.
Dave Prazak and I won't say what we said in private, but he was like, yeah, you know what, fuck it, I'll say it. He was like, all my people was going to the E basically. He was like, every time he made somebody, it was going to the E. And it's like, damn, bro, like you imagine Stampede if you're building up so many people, if you're building up so many main event talent or like talent that are gonna be main eventers and they just I'm off to Florida. I'm off to Florida. Like at least the five talent has a one off every time you build somebody. And you be like, brother, I don't even want to build nobody no more. Because every time I get and build somebody, here comes here comes them signing the WWE. So I felt his pain. I've never booked, uh but I'm working on booking, but like that would irritate the shit out of me. Like Nikki, if I'm building Nikki and she's gonna be my girl, she's gonna be the top heel or the top baby. Well, I think she just mainly works heel. I don't. She's gonna be my top heel.
She
Then,
screams. She screams heel.
yeah, she's a good heel. She's solid. She's
Very, very
solid.
much
She's
so.
solid. She's solid. You know, and then Triple H comes out of nowhere and said, "Hey, oh, what would you like to do with your NXT?" After that and build it up, I build up Brooke. So let's just say we have a right. Let's just say right. Okay, let's just get this right because I could pull this right. Other than my shows, let's just say Dave Prazak has trusted you and me with the booking. So Dave, when he's not doing GCW shows or whatever, he's like off, and we was like, all right, we got this story with Havoc and
Oh, I
Nikki.
have news. June 21st, at Start on the Conversation, Sari has officially challenged Siri for the IWGP Women's Championship.
Mm,
Mm.
cooking.
And there is
So
another girl. And there's another girl right there that's Shimmer. If they're going to get this off the ground, should probably find out her number because Miss Sari puts on her own pay-per-views, right?
oh,
And
definitely.
I believe she's looking to do some in North America, and she partners with other people, right? So you get whoever it is you got signed to Shimmer who came on board, and you get them on that show, right? And you spread the name that way
Right.
because the Surrealism show, right? I make it a point to watch those because I know there's other people from other places that I have not seen. Right? This is how I came across Chi Chi. I don't know if you know Chi Chi. She comes out to Barbie Girl.
No, never. I've never seen her.
You would like her. She's just coming back. She was out with injury, but she's really good. She's like 19.
Okay, okay. You gotta leave me one of those matches and I'll check it out.
Yeah, I'll send you one with her on it. Victoria Yuzuki was where I first started getting a good glimpse of her. Was through this. Okay, so Cerie's high on these people. There's a reason she's high on these people because they keep appearing on these cards, right?
Mm-hmm.
The more I've seen of them, it's like, okay, now I know why she's high on them. They're really, really good, right? At a very, very young age. So that's another way to get, you know, your talent out there and to get your name out there, right? Because if the person's on there and they're signed through you, your promotion's name is going to get mentioned. And if the person puts on a good performance, it's like, I'm going to go check her out in that promotion, right? That's what I did. Like I seen Chi Chi, and I went and I said, okay, where do I find her? What else? What shows is she on? What promotions? I went and found her. You know, that's how I do it anyway.
So going back into the booking thing, right? All right, so it's a tag match, right? Tag rivalry. We just say a tag rivalry, right? Um, so this tag rivalry has, like I said, what do I say? Brooke Havoc, and I said, what else did I say? Hold on. Oh, Brooke Havoc. I only got to say the babyface out. So who to say is Brooke Havoc and who's a good babyface that I become a star? I'm trying to think. No, we go back on my old one. We'll go back on my old one. We'll go Brooke Havoc and Halleck Red, right? Two baby faces. Or we got Nikki and you got who put in like who was damn it, who probably like Nikki and I know I used her before. No, I used somebody different. High on them. We got Nick. So they're the heels, right? We booked this rivalry. Me, you, Dave. We booked this rivalry. This is the combination of the rivalry. We book it really good. Ass goes crazy. It's all over the internet. We've already built what 5 stars, like, or actually no, 3 stars because uh, hyena, hyena, not hyena, Hyon is already sort of established star with Shimmer because she's been their champion, the heart of Shimmer champion. So she's already established star. So with the up and coming people. So as we build them, you have because like you said, AEW have people on the contract and they can use them. You have the Renegade Twins as established stars coming to Shimmer. You have the Canadian Ninjas returning. Uh, you have like Via Van. You have the stars that you mentioned from Japan. You have all this stuff, right? We're building, and it's going great. We're at all this talent, and we're building like let's just say we built like all the stars have. Let's just say it's a 20. We started out with a 20 woman roster, right? Over time, that that 20 woman roster turns into a 50 woman roster. And because Shimmer had 50 people, 50 women, 50, 60 women, right? We'll say it turns into 60. We build all those women. They're all superstars. They're all stars. Anywhere they go, trips to Japan. They have already gone trips to Japan, trips to Germany. They're international superstars. The up and coming ones, not the established ones, right? The established ones put over the up and coming ones. We went all over the country with the Shimmer Stars, but our home base is Chicago. Now, we're about to run in your hometown, your home city. We're about to run one of the venues there. It's being packed out. Ticket sales going crazy. Right? We got the streaming. We got it on Fight TV. No, we're now Thriller. And it's going crazy. People's hearing about it. It's becoming the talk of town again. 20th anniversary of Shimmer. And we're now here in the Maritimes. And we're here just got the got the stuff of all the championships, the tag championships. Uh we got all that, you know. And by the way, the show is about to be a fire show, of course. Right? So we all are breaking into division. Stampede's got the he's got the up and coming girls and the girls that see promise. I got the girls that they've been up and coming, but now they're being established. I got the top of the card, we'll say. Then I got the middle of the card. I don't like to say mid card, but we got the up and coming, up to established stars, and Dave's got the established in the main event. What our minds and our booking minds, we'll just say we'll have, and I had it before. We'll have a steel cage match or whatever. Our first ever steel cage dog collar match between Daddy Luna and who else? I think her name was Lena, Lexi, like her, and then what else I'm trying to think of. No, use somebody else different. We use Monster Slamovich versus Atlanta Black in a steel cage dog collar match or whatever, right? Show goes phenomenal. He was like, "Oh, it's the best women's pay per view and promotions that I've seen in years." I never knew Shimmer. I didn't really watch Shimmer before, but Shimmer's really good wrestling, really good pro wrestling. It's great storytelling, all that shit, right? Out of nowhere, get a phone call from Triple H, Papa H as they call him. And it was like, "Well, we want some of your talent. We want Nikki. We want Brooke Havoc. We want Angelica Riz. We want, so they get, they probably get, yeah, Brooke Havoc, Angelica Riz, Nikki. I'm trying to think somebody else. Hyan. We want like 3 of your talent. So now we can't not tell them to go sign with WWE. So then all those girls are gone. So then we have to build more. And then it keeps happening, and it keeps happening, and it keeps happening. And then I say to you, Stampede, every time we build them up, they go away. What do we do? So we can only do one thing is to get the international girls more over. And hopefully build a thing where it's very good content, very good environment where they just don't want to leave. Have them get signed to have them get signed, but don't have them get signed to WWE. Have them get signed to AEW. Because now we have a partnership. We build so many good ass stories. You with your great mind and my great mind of booking. You've learned about 2 years now. You're on the job. You just learn how to put stuff together. We just have simple storylines that people can understand. And it's like, man, the people are coming in to poach because we're so good at Shimmer and stuff. You can only imagine that shit will be frustrating. So I know it was a little bit long, but yeah. But I feel like you'll be a good booker, so I think for Nasty Mania I would have you uh as an advisor on top of a talent scout.
from, from Japan.
No, not from Japan. I
Yes, from
can't. I
Japan.
can't.
So,
I can't. I
no,
can't.
it's
I
in my
can't let you
contract.
go, man.
I don't give a fuck how you get me there, Leroy. I'll like boat. I'll go on a raft.
So then you can't come
Like,
back. I can't even.
no, no. Well, that's the point. That's the whole point of it, Leroy. I'm not coming back. I've told you
I
this.
can't let my. I can't let my
Like,
advisor slash talent scout go.
no, man. Like, I will go over there, Tom Hanks style, on a fucking raft made out of logs. God. A couple of other
I
breaking
forgot.
news.
I forgot
Siri
you
is
said
also going to.
you're not a big. You
Couple
say.
of
I forget you're not a
couple
bigger
of
guy, so.
couple of other breaking news. Siri will defend her IWGP Women's Championship against Alex Windsor in Pro Wrestling Eve on June 6th.
Damn,
Also,
night. Who was it?
also, also of
Nightshade
also of
lost
note,
to.
also of note, Hazuki confirms that while they're out of stars, FWC will remain members of Stardom that want to spread their wings around the world. That's tag team title related.
Mm,
the
okay.
reason I think that's of note, possibly, is the line of they want to spread their wings around the world. There's been a lot of talk of a certain promotion that airs on Wednesdays that they of a potential tag team division for the women. So around the world would take them there. People in that promotion know who Hazuki is because she would be the lady that fought Mercedes in what was essentially the women's match of the year last
Right.
year. Just things to keep eyes on. Also, keep an eye on your DM because I just sent you a full match of Chi Chi,
Okay.
and I sent you kind of a highlight reel kind of package thing. It's just little clips from various matches. But the song that is accompanying that is the song that she uses for her entrance. Remember the old
Okay.
song? Remember the old song Barbie Girl?
Yeah.
That's what she uses. When you see
I'm like,
her,
look,
you will know. You when you see her, you will know why.
I'll be like, I get it.
It suits her to a like literally a T. I don't know if you can watch that while you're on here.
I could on my computer, but I want to do it in the show.
Yeah.
So
I don't know, whenever. I mean, you and I are talking online every day anyway. But yeah, watch them. The match is especially good. But you'll see in the clips just what kind of style she is. Like she's really good. Like she's going to be a star for years. You know?
being that that is, I have a new segment. So everybody knows about Rat Bastard of the Week, but I have a new segment. And this segment is because you've been on here multiple times, this is a new segment called Stampedes. We have two of them. Stampedes Rising Star, Rising Star. We don't want to say of the week, but Rising Star. And the second one, what is your match of the week? Stampede's match of the week.
Match of the week of what I've seen thus far.
Yes.
I've seen a fair bit of them this week. Hmm. I would have to go almost a 1A and a 1B, but if I had to choose between the two of them, Jordan Grace and Julia.
Okay.
Actually, no. Scratch that. Still going to be a women's match. But Lyra Valkyria and Becky this evening. I don't have that on my weekly list yet. But my top three matches for the week are all women's matches, surprisingly. Lyra versus Becky, Jordan Grace versus Julia from NXT, and Azumi versus Mercedes versus Mina Shirakawa from New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Okay, okay. Well, we know the women's matches over here. So
Women are
who's
killing
your
it this
riser?
year. Women are
Hmm?
killing it this year, man. Killing it.
We're
I
killing
got
it,
I
man.
got
They're killing.
I got 65 matches rated, like in my top 100 for the year. 29 of them are women's.
They're killing it, man. They're killing it. Rising Star. Who's Stampede's Rising Star that you've been seeing? Because I know you be watching. I know you be looking.
Oh, there's a few, man. Like like Nick Wayne just won his first match in the G1 today against Show. Um, so hats off to him. Kevin Knight, obviously another one. Kevin Knight is like a young Isaiah Scott, which was pre-swerve. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of what I see him. Leon Slater, I mean, just a phenomenal talent. Rena over in Stardom, another one. Victoria Yuzuki in Marigold, that would be another one. Chi Chi, I've mentioned her quite a few times on the show. Um, ooh, man, uh, even though he's a bit of a fucking idiot, Javon Evans. That doesn't take away from how talented he is, just because he doesn't know how to fucking talk. But I mean, the kid is talented. Billy Starks, the one. Would definitely keep an
Yeah.
eye on Billy. She's going to rise to the top of this industry. Before all is said and done. So yeah,
Oh yeah,
there's
for
lots
sure.
of there's lots of really good young talent around. If you look around, if you look in one spot, you're not going to find many. But
It's all around
look
different
around,
different places.
look around, man. There's so much young, like great young talent around, like that you'll find on your journey. That's the fun of it. Right? Who are you going to
My
meet on
my
two other names, very young talent in their
okay.
early 20s. Kosei Fujita over in New Japan Pro Wrestling and Francisco Akira. They had a match today. Incredible, incredible young talents.
Definitely. I would say Starboard Charlie is mine. I would also say uh you know what, Stampede, if you can find it, I'm sure you can find it. 'Cause you can find a lot of you find a lot of different matches. Starboard Charlie, it was a recent GCW show that was in Los Angeles. I forget the name of it, but like Starboard Charlie and Ninja Mac, that was a really good ass match. Um,
Yeah, yeah, it was. I seen that one. Yeah. Ninja
okay,
Mac was on the G1 show day one. It was a tag match, but he was on it.
hell yeah.
Kevin Knight was on
Uh,
commentary. He
was
can
he on
even do that.
commentary with the man?
He can even do no. Kevin Knight was. He can even
Oh,
do that. I can do commentary. He's
yeah,
only
this
like
motherfucker can
28.
do everything. I said that earlier. The
Good
motherfucker was
lord.
killing it on commentary. He was doing his thing, man. Like this motherfucker is so good at everything. Smooth ass talker. Like,
Yeah.
okay, so this is what I'm talking about. Like, okay, so I'll give a little. I'll give a little thing. I'll give a little exclusive. So when I actually was getting my shit together and I got the venue and all that kind of stuff, and I actually was stuff was rolling before it stopped. The one of the few people that I had hit up, one of the few people, not a few people, one of the first people that I hit up was Kevin Knight. I was like, I gotta think from a promoter brain, from a booker brain. You're athletic, you can talk. The women love Kevin Knight. I seen this shit. I heard it before. Like at Shay shows and stuff. They was going crazy as soon as he came out. Like the women love him, the kids love him, the dudes fuck with him. They think he's cool. He checks all the boxes, literally and figuratively, all the boxes. So, like he's a complete package of a pro wrestler. Like, and you know what? I think this is what I think. He won't say this because he's too humble. He won't let it slide. I think if you let Kevin Knight go because you thought you didn't, and he did he said it, but he didn't say it. So apparently, when he was on a tryout, he did the tryout, but like they didn't really know his pedigree. They didn't really know how good he was. So they offered him tryout and they gave him a little standard little tryout contract that they give everybody, all the hopefuls and recruits and stuff like that. And I feel like if the man is one, he's a two-time tag team champion. He's an athletic, charismatic guy. He's been on all around the country, and you give him this little contract. A matter of fact, you give him a tryout in general, which is I don't even think shouldn't be able to have a tryout. But you imagine Stampede if you're there. You imagine if you're a scout and you okay, you're still Stampede. You're knowledgeable about wrestling, but you imagine all your other coworkers don't have no idea who he is and how much this is a promoter's like dream to book a guy like this that checks all the boxes. He's in shape. He's not even in shape. He's ripped. He's got The people love, the people, the ladies. They love Kevin Knight. You know, all this stuff, all the boxes, and you let that motherfucker go. Let alone give this man a tryout. But that's not a bad thing because then he going up there and showed that why he is a rising star in pro wrestling and nothing to mess with. And you thinking like, you know what? You're watching his drop kick, you seeing him talking his talk, you know, and you be like, oh, we gotta sign this dude. And not only you don't want to sign this dude, but you give him a little measly run of the mill NXT contract, or don't even give him a contract. I don't know. That's just me. I I have how do you pass on that? Like, there's a couple people like I don't know how you pass on them. Like Josh Bishop, like that motherfucker's made for Derby. Like 6'8", powerhouse, intense, can talk a little bit. He's not the best talker, but he can talk a little bit. He get his point across. Then you have this is how I know they don't fuck with tag team wrestling. You have the Renegade Twins, and you pass on them. What would you think if that was you, man? What would you? You got all this talent coming through, and you don't even sign. You don't even say Triple H, hey, sign these talent. Like you're gonna get your foreign investment on these talent.
Well, I wouldn't work for. Well, first off, I wouldn't work for a company that has that mindset. Right? It's just it just boggles my mind how they like to see they were aware of Kevin Knight obviously because they brought him in for a tryout, but they weren't fully aware of him because to offer him what they did, say, yeah, we're going to send you to NXT and we're gonna train you, and it's like the fucking guy was in the LA dojo, man. Like he's a two-time tag team champion over in New Japan. He's wrestled all over the world. The hell is what is your performance center going to train him? Really, you're going to untrain him, and you're going to get him, you know, trained in the way you want things done. That's what that would have been. Kevin was smart to back out of whatever it was
Yeah, he's a
they
smart
offered.
guy. He's a smart guy.
Yeah, you know, like if you don't have any experience whatsoever, and in WWE somehow stumbles across you, then fine, go there, man. Learn their system, and hopefully it works out for you. You'll know that system. It's the only one you'll know. You may pick up other things along the way, depending on who you work with, because of where they were from. But like the biggest to me anyway, from what I've seen just from wrestlers all over the world and like just through the years, the best school out there, once you get the basics down, is just to go and as many places as you can, and learn, wrestle as many different people as you can find, and learn from them. You'll pick up something probably from everybody, you know. Like Nick Wayne, he's going to pick up things in the next month that he would never have picked up in just wrestling in AEW, just due to the different culture and the different ring style, the different style ring, right? Different opponents, different language, like everything. There's no way you don't learn from that.
Right. Shout out to Dirty Dick Ric Flair. Wait, no, not Ric Flair. Dirty Dick Flair. Uh, in the comments on X and stuff. But yeah, you pass on Josh Bishop. Like that motherfucker's a derby guy if I ever seen one. He's a straight school, old school pro wrestling guy. Not even old school, but like straight 1995, Sid Vicious, you know, I always say he's like Sid Vicious had a kid or something. like all the good intangibles of said visage.
Yeah, big, tall, muscular. Yeah, but they
Intense,
kind of
can talk.
they kind of had a guy like that in what's his name that they let go. Bo Beverly's kid, Come Tuesday. I
Oh,
can't remember. Von Wagner. He was a big guy. Right? He kind of moved around a bit. Not great in the ring, but I mean, he was only like new into this, right? But they never really did a whole hell of a lot with him.
yeah.
You know, another guy down there that's he's a little older though. What the hell's his name? The guy that hurt Big E, not intentionally, but
Oh, well, Rich Holland.
yeah, yeah. Like there's stuff there they could do with Rich. He's never going to be a great in ring technician. He's not that kind of guy. But he reminds me of like a very underdeveloped uh, Bolton Oleg.
Hmm.
You know, they just don't like with Bolton. They're doing stuff with him. They're slowly getting him along, right? But they're not doing that with Rich. So there's your difference, right? Two very similar guys, similar style, similar build, similar age, right? One promotion is doing stuff with them to advance them, and the others, just kind of on the treadmill, right?
I wanna shout out to um I wanna shout out to I said it earlier. I did a um marketing class at the Nightmare Factory. Just wanna shout out to the lady that was from the House of Champions. Uh right here. Got the brush shoe and everything. And the reason why I say that is because uh there is a thing that I'm doing is I will be going down to the in Orlando at some point. Going down to the House of Champions when I go down to Orlando at some point. So look out for me there. Uh really cool as lady. She really helped out. Really was informative and stuff. And speaking of the Nightmare Family Factory, now, you know, I don't really talk about the Nightmare Family because one, it's not really to talk about other than Cody's not letting me at dinners or invite me to dinners. But we gonna talk about that. Um, the Nightmare Factory is for people who are watching this for 160 people, and you are interested. You're a wrestler, or you're just starting out, and you know what, you've been wanting to go to the camps, but you can't get in the camps, and you want to get in there. Here it is. The Nightmare for 3 days is having a camp and seminar for $99, $100. Q&A, uh, what was it? Coaching, well, not coaching, but scouting and trial seminar will be on June 12th. I think the 13th, the 14th, and the 15th. Not so sure. I will post all the stuff on my Twitter and stuff. So if anybody trying to get an ID or get looked at by Gabe, this is your chance. I'll be there. I said that I would try it and test myself. So either way it goes, I might like, well, it'd be cool just to do it. And I've talked to reaching my friends. Just to try it out. So if you're like me and you want to try it out, or you literally trying to get a contract, so this is your way to get there. Um. So yeah, just check that shit out when I post it. Also, you know, um, check me out. Like I said, my dates. Check me out in August. Check me out June the 20th. I'll be in Little Rock, Arkansas. What's today? Today is the 11th. So I say I don't know what I got coming up in May, the rest of May. But follow me on my Instagram and Twitter, see where I pop up at. But I want to say, Stampede. It is time for we're going to the end here. It's time for the rap bastard of the week. The rap bastard of the week is Atticus Cougar. But you know what? Today we have two rap bastards of the week. We have Atticus Cougar and Tony Evans. Now, Stampede, you might not be familiar with my dealings with Tony. You might not be you might not be familiar with Tony Evans. He is a wrestler that I am dealing with that is on a rap bastard side. He's doing all this rap bastard stuff. He's done to my friend. He's talked shit on me. He's been running from me, not to face me, but he wants to talk all this shit. So he is a rap bastard of the week. Also because he he's done many dastardly things to me. I'm gonna get his ass back. So, but you know what? There's one thing I'm gonna say. He is he knows he's a good professional wrestler, but what he does is because he's so good as a professional wrestler. He thinks I'm so bad that I'm so not a good worker. I'm not a good wrestler that I'm going to hurt him. But he be correct that I will hurt him on multiple chops, forearms, and kicking his ass. He thinks he's gonna get injured with me? Nah. I'm just gonna whoop your ass and make sure you don't disrespect me ever in your life again. I got PTSD when they bring my name up the way I'm gonna beat you down. But that's in due time. But I will say this, Stampede. I want you to look up his stuff. I think you would like his stuff, and so you can get familiar. As when I face off with him again, and you can see that his rap bastardness. So Tony Evans is a person that wrestles in Louisville, for OVW. He does stuff for New South. I don't think anything else. He just wrestled for New South and a couple other promotions, but that's majority of that shit though. But yeah, speaking of OVW, shout out to my boy Parker Lee on OVW. Shout out to Brittany Brooks on OVW. Uh, I hear this is a while ago, but I might as well bring it up to it. OVW is under new management. They still got Al Snow as a booker, but apparently they got a new president and all that kind of stuff, and a new money guy and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully, you know, the owners, like I said, the owner steer is Al Snow, but I think they just say they're gonna have somebody new creative. So before we leave here, Stampede, what what do you think it's going to take for you to watch OVW, and do you think it's going to be good?
Well, I would need time to do it, Leroy.
Yeah, of
My
course.
my my wrestling plate is
Full.
about as full. Right, it's about as full as I can get it at the moment. Right, like through the week, especially this week. Well, this month, right? Like I have to watch Raw, because we do shows that speak on things that happen on that show, which also involve
That
NXT, which goes
that
into
he doesn't want to
AEW
watch.
Wednesdays, and then Thursday is usually a combination of Ring of Honor and TNA. Friday SmackDown, Saturday's Collision. Sundays there's usually a pay per view on somewhere, right? And then just random stuff that like Stardom always got shows on the go. Marigold has shows on the go. So Best of the Super Juniors, New Japan always has stuff on the go. So my plate's pretty full. I don't know if I could squeeze OVW in at the moment. I'll put in a requisition form for maybe like another day in the week, maybe 8. That'll work. My
Reason
rat
why I
bash,
say it.
my rat
Okay.
basher is Javon Evans. Like, smarten the fuck up. Like, don't be calling people a fucking crackhead, man. Especially considering where you work and who you work for, right? And don't be shitting on the crowds that Ricochet wrestles for when they're 10 times the size of what you show up to for work on Tuesdays, right? Smarten the fuck up. I know you're 20, right? That's no excuse.
Don't, yeah, as they always tell me, don't get work, brother. Don't work yourself to into a shoot.
Well, don't work yourself out of potential future employment if the company you work for that has a tendency to let people go out of the blue, you at some point land on that list. Because people more talented than you, Mr. Evans, have been let go. So just
Mm,
something to consider the next time you take to Twitter.
mm, 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 mm. Well, I hope you have looked up. I don't know if you looked up while you was on mute. Looked up Tony Evans and look what he looks like. But I'm sure you
No,
can pull it up.
not yet, but I did write him down. He's on my list.
All right, you look him up. You be like, yeah, he's a rat bastard, but yeah, he's a good wrestler. But at some point, he he's gonna feel that is disrespected me and my and in my wrestling ability. He's gonna learn not to do that, as everybody does. Like Cheese learned that he doesn't want none, but he keeps doing shit to get him to get me out to not kick me out to want me to kick his ass even more. He just likes to get kicked ass out of this thing, so because he's so obsessed with me. Also, but most of the time they do learn. They do learn that I'm not nothing to play with. That's why I don't be nasty swinging. I don't be dancing no more. I just be whooping ass. So I said it earlier, and I'm gonna say it again. If you think that I'm not coming back, JCW, if you think that I'm not going to pop up, and we'll just say it. If you think I'm not going to pop up, Galler, Juggler, Galleros, Juggler, the Gathering, we got another thing coming. Now, will it be on my own or will it be on Team GCW? But I know one thing: the people, the Nancy Nation, my guy Stampede will be watching as I whoop y'all guys' asses. You want the nasty violent side to come out? Well, you got it. So let that be known. And Atticus Cougar, I ain't done with you. Normally, Stampede, I'm not a man that holds his grudges. I don't. I really don't. Even that me and Cheese had almost a 2 year, 3 year, I don't know, the longest rivalry in ever in pro wrestling ever. I let that shit go. I let it be thing until he wanted to start it back up, but I let that shit go. I don't know, you're not familiar with my rivalry of Leo Rush, but I'm gonna tell you, me and Leo Rush we used to beef. And I let that shit go. We put a truce together. But see, and this is on the ending note. I'm not gonna go with a long ass intro. I'm just going to say this. This is my show and I can go on that shit. Where's my because I had to alright, here we go. I normally I would do this with my glasses off, but I'm gonna put this on my glasses on. Just to do this. So act is cool here that you think that this is over. You think that because you think you're on greener pastures, you've gotten Franco out, you gotten all these people off. I ain't forgot what you done to me in my spring break debut. See, that was years ago, but as in the words of my boy Sloan, it's still boy fuck you. So that being said, is now that I'll be picking up dates for GCW. Now, will those dates what would those dates be? Who knows? But I know I'll be in Arkansas. I know I'll be other places. But the place that you need, the thing that you I don't think you're worried about me. And I'm glad that you're not. Don't worry about me. Worry about other people. Worry about other roster members. Because you're gonna think that it's real sweet outside, it's real comfortable. That you're gonna probably go on a rivalry and try to jump somebody else with you and your brother with your little rat bastard ways and thinking that's okay. That it's nice. Thinking because, I'm just the guy that does the comedy or I look at a comedy kind of way. But I took some time off to show that I'm locked in. Not only am I locked in, I'm more focused in my career. And going into my 10th year, going into my 11th to be honest, but going into as I get up there in seasons and I get there and more veteran, I get better and better. You know, you have to pray to somebody. You don't seem like you pray upstairs. You can pray downstairs for all I care. But no, the saying, CM Punk said you can't box with God. But no, that I normally don't do religious stuff. No, we don't. And I might say this again. You gonna think I'm a preacher, though much hands I'm gonna be putting on you. So that being said, is the best thing about the nasty rally is you never know where it's coming from. So we back on the Rap Bastard tour list, and you never know where that tour will stop. So I hope anybody sees this in your camp and shows this to you, and I hope you laugh it off. I really do, because the next time you laugh me off, you discard me, you disrespect me. Well, you've already disrespected me. You don't think this is gonna happen? You're not looking. You're doing whatever you're doing. Is bam! It's when that nasty rally comes to, and you ain't gonna know what hit you. So that being said, you're gonna get an introduction to the nasty not only fighting style, but the nasty strong style. And I'm getting better by the day, by the month. It's all over you. Anyway, that being said, catch me in all my shows. Catch me all over Georgia with One Fall Wrestling. Like I said, catch me in Arkansas. Catch me in Little Rock, Arkansas. Catch me in future GCW dates. And see me with the Last Outlaws themselves. I got some stuff for WrestlePro in New Jersey. Uh, Check that shit out when I announce it. Stay tuned to my Twitter and my Instagram. Official Nasty Leroy on Instagram. Twitter at that Nasty Leroy. ForYourWear.com. Get your I can't talk. Why I can't say shit right. The Forbero jackets of the Nasty team and the Nasty Hotties. Get those jackets. And get I'll be coming to Texas soon. So I will have these, the Blue Con. I will have Nasty Dust Texas shirts. One of my favorite designs. So I have those. I'll see everybody all out weekend. It's gonna be fire. It's gonna be good stuff. I like going to Dallas. It's actually It's like one of my favorite cities other than Houston. So Texas is real been good to me, even that people hate me down there for telling the truth. Uh, and Stampede, any plugs you want to get off? I know you got some shout outs and stuff, but like,
Um, yeah, just follow me. I'm with a group of gentlemen on Twitter called the Wrestle Collective. So follow us or shows that you just might not be able to afford. If I can get you a stream for it, I'll gladly send one over to you. So other than that, that's it. That's all I got on
all right, yeah, follow the Wrestle Collective on TikTok. I think they have a YouTube. I don't really sure, but like, yeah, follow the Wrestle Collective on X, Twitter, and they do shows Tuesdays and Thursdays, 4:30 p.m. Uh, your time will vary, and it's really a sensible wrestling collective of people. Like I've been a lot of different people, but they are the sensible and ain't no fun group of people, and Stampede's one of them. Also, watch out for my boy Carlos as he streams on as he does spaces as um those Monday, uh Wednesday, and I think I think he does some stuff on Thursday. So watch for those. And if you need the link, Stampede will get you, or I'll get you. We'll take care of you and stuff. So I'm gonna say this and support. I want to say this: support the real ones. Uh, support good people. Don't be a rat bastard. Also, shout out to Covalent TV delivering that fire, the truth and stuff. Somebody in here, I think it was you, Stampede, who put me onto them. Um, but yeah, shout out to Mr. Starks and Big Dub. You do phenomenal work. I met that dude. He's hell of a cool guy. I'm looking to have him on my show. I gotta probably reach out to him and see if he can set something up. But yeah, shout out to him. And yeah, man, just support good people and all the people we linked you to is good people. It's good stuff. Um, who else? Just yeah, support the real stuff. Shout out to my boy Sloan Caterin, the Sushio Boys podcast. Rapping and Dirty Water Boys as I am too. He does too. The Sushio Boy podcast. Shout out to Marks with Mikes. And shout out to my boy House putting on having his stuff on. And shout out to my boy King Reezy putting on his stuff on. Uh, that being said, stay nasty, my friends, and this is another being another edition of the Nasty Reality. We'll be back next week. We're gonna talk some sports. We're gonna talk all kinds of pop culture, and we're gonna get a little pro wrestling. Next week, I should have some more guests. So stay tuned, tap in and tune in, and support the Nasty. Well, I used to say the Nasty Revolution, but the Nasty Nation, support that man, and yeah, fuck it, the Nasty Revolution. We out here looking clean while the haters looking mean.